Hey, great morning, super fantastic morning. I am Shay Wilson, thinking big, living bigger, and loving the biggest. Happy Labor Day. I know some of you guys are like, I know Shay is not up at 6:15 doing this. Yes, I am. I'm going to release my genius, my gift to the world no matter what. No, actually, today is not a day for me to take off. I'm going to take off next Monday, but all good stuff. So I decided to go to work today and not miss this. Listen, I actually love doing this. This is pretty fun for me. So jump on, jump on. I hope you're having a great weekend. I actually just had a really good weekend. Just rested, did some things, got some things done, but it was a very peaceful weekend, and I love that. It was a very productive weekend. I love that, and it was just a weekend. I can't wait. First of all, I can't wait for football season to start. That's so random, but I can't wait. It's NFL. I love college. College started, so that was really awesome. But next week, because I play fantasy, I love that. It just gives me some excitement. What are you excited about that's coming up, that's going on in your life? So I just appreciate those times where I can be very childlike in nature, with a childlike enthusiasm. I look forward to those things. So what are you appreciating? What are you excited about? Can you speak it out loud? Can you share with me as I let you jump on? Can you just, is it something out there that you just, you really looking forward to being involved with? You got it going on. I'm looking at you, try to get it going. Let's see right here. I love it. I love it. I love it. Jump on, jump on, jump on. So today we want to talk about God's glimpses. Spiritually fit people understand that there's a way that the universe encourages us, shows us that it is there for us. And so I'm excited about talking about God's glimpses and what that looks like. To keep us encouraged. How do we see them more? How do we know that that is the universe, our creator, our inner being, our Holy Spirit, Jesus the Christ talking to us? Because it's all about us. Individually, you are God's favorite. Okay, yeah, you're God's favorite. You're God's favorite. I'm God's favorite. I know God told you was a favorite, but God told me I'm the favorite too. And I have a friend of mine. We talk about this. Yeah, you are the favorite. Yes, and I am too. And I am too. So come on, let's talk about God's glimpses. And what I mean about God's glimpses is that when you see something show up in the activity, what's going on? What's going on? Good. Thank you for jumping on. Jump on. We're talking about God's glimpses this morning. And it is a thing of where you see that the universe, God is showing up in your life, and you know it's nothing but God showing up. And it could be the most minute things or big things, but we have to tune ourselves into it. So, for instance, I was sharing with somebody the other day. I'm going to give you examples of this. The other day, I'm praying and laughing and joking, and I was telling God, the God of my understanding, how I talk. I said, "Hey, God, I love I love the smell of bacon. I love the smell of coffee. God, this is just awesome. I love when I smell it because it makes me feel like it's comforting and at home and people and breakfast. I love that smell." So I'm like laughing and joking as I'm praying and just thanking the universe and the creator and my ancestors, everybody. I appreciate everything, my body, all the stuff. And I laughing. I finish up. I'm walking outside. I walk outside and I'm walking. I hadn't taken 10 steps and I smell bacon and I smell coffee and I laugh because normally that is not the smell. Listen, I've been here 10 years in this area. That's not the smell. Maybe Thanksgiving, maybe Christmas, but I laughed and I said, "Thank you." Because sometimes we forget how close, how we are really never alone in this. And I knew it was so out of the ordinary that I just smiled, and there was a sense of warmth came over me. And in that moment, I realized again how close, how much help we have from the universe, from the resources right at our very fingertips. And it's not just me. You can do this too. I just happen to be probably more in tune sometimes than a lot of people because I'm very intentional about my meditation and my spiritual practices. We all can do this. You listen, I mean, you are God's favorite too. Understand that. So that was one. So the glimpses come to show us a lot of times to undergird us to say, hey, you are supported. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? So again, another thing is that I'm looking for something. And look, I could be something like a rubber band. I was thinking for a rubber band the other day because I like to wear rubber bands on my wrist. It just reminds me, it helps me to remind me of things. If anybody else does this, let me know. Put your hand up in the chat. Yeah, we just have to pay attention. Yes, Tiffany, we just have to pay attention. We get caught up in our problems in everyday life and we miss a lot of it. I have just practiced tuning myself. When you start trying to grow and transform and you're surrendering yourself, you need the support. You need the support. Sometimes this can't come from other people because they don't necessarily know what you're doing. So you need to see how nature, how God speaks to you and know that you, okay, because if it was like that, I said, man, all I said was something about some bacon and something that I don't even eat bacon, nor do I drink coffee. And yet that was answered just like that. And I said, well, man, if that can happen like that, then I need to practice on some other stuff bigger. So I'll give you a story. I'm going to Houston last 2 weekends ago for my little cousin's funeral, and I'm going to have to speak. Okay, death is something that is very hard for me, like most of us. I think I was traumatized when I was younger, and so I avoided like the plague. Okay. And I mean, funerals are that heavy. I will do stuff after. It really, really weighs on me. I'm also empathic. So it really weighs on me. It's the people and the grief and there's nothing I can do about it. Those type of things. So the whole week I was struggling after I said, yes, I would speak. I was struggling. I was struggling because I was grieving and mourning. I was struggling because I was thinking about my family and how hard this is. I was struggling because of how they were struggling. I could feel it. So all week I'm heavy. I'm not really sleeping. So I'm driving to Houston. I'm driving to Houston by myself. Now I probably should have had somebody go with me I get in my ego. I just need to go do this. Knowing that part of this journey, listen to what I'm saying, is my journey, meaning that I must get past that thing in order to get to the next level. I must do this on my own. I must take this journey of healing, of overcoming by myself. Many of you understand some things you're not taking people with you. This is your thing to get over. Some people are there to support you, but this is my journey. So I'm driving and I'm actually talking to God about, listen, God, if I can take this, if I do, I have to do this. I mean, literally, I can't do. But I trust you in what you tell. I trust you and I believe in you. I know you're with me. I know I'm not alone, even though physically nobody's here. I know. So I'm driving and I'm struggling. And I'm saying, but I'm going to do this because I trust you. I know this is the right thing to do. I know this is my thing to do. Let me go. So if you've never been in Texas, we have a rest stop, which is a ginormous, huge, like a whole experience called Buc-ee's. You want to stop at Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's has the best bathrooms, everything. I'm going to stop at Buc-ee's. So I done set up. I'm like, okay, 17 more miles. I'm going to stop at Buc-ee's. Okay. I'm driving and I'm praying. I'm like, God, I know you hit me. And I'm start praying. I'm appreciating the fact that I feel the warmth. I can feel senses of relief. I'm driving. I drive right past Buc-ee's and I'm like, no, I did not pass Buc-ee's. I know where Buc-ee's is. How did I pass Buc-ee's? So I said, well, I can't turn around because it's like 5-10 more miles up the street to go back around. Let me just keep going. I said, all right, well, maybe I can get to the next Buc-ee's. I said, I don't know. I drink so much water. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it like that. So I see another place. I'm like, I know because Beaver Nuggets, exactly. Buc-ee's Beaver Nuggets, exactly. Tiffany, you understand what I'm saying. Anybody in Texas, if you travel Texas, you know Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's is the spot. So I'm like, okay, well, let me keep going. So I'm like, okay, I saw another spot. I'm like, I don't really want to stop there. It was another like a Love's or something like that. I went, well, let me just keep going. Maybe I can get to the next Buc-ee's. I said, man, next Buc-ee's is like 60 miles. I said, ooh, I don't think I can do this now. I'm like, okay, God, I'm still heavy. I'm still heavy and still thinking and still processing. And so I'm like, okay, let me just keep going. And I said, well, you know what? I can't. Let me just stop at the McDonald's. Let me stop at the McDonald's. Just random. I'm not going to eat McDonald's. I'm just going there to use the bathroom. It's early Saturday morning. I figured, boom, I can go in there and do that, and I'll get out. So I pull up to McDonald's. I'm getting out. I look. I see an African-American family, well-dressed, in a car, getting in the car, and I look, and let me tell you something. I realized that was my cousins. Do you hear me? It was my cousins. My cousins. I had been talking to God about, God, maybe it just needs somebody. I guess I don't know. I feel very heavy. I feel very sad. Can I do this? And in that moment, I realized that God had heard me the whole time. There's no way I missed Buc-ee's. I know Buc-ee's where Buc-ee's is. I didn't stop at the next stop. Had I stopped at any of those other spots, I would have missed them. I just stopped at a random McDonald's and ran right into my cousins. I was absolutely directed and guided to know, because I really don't need but a little bit of I didn't need to tell them the story. I was just so excited to see them and love on them. And I was like, okay, God, I got you. I'm in this thing. Let's go. Because I needed to do something for my family. One of the gifts I can do is speak. And that's what I wanted to do. And I was so excited at the guidance. Glimpses, guys. Glimpses. Now, that was huge. I've had other ones that are just huge. Can you tell me anytime you've had glimpses? Can you share with me in the chat glimpses? Because sometimes we need to be reminded of the glimpses and then be aware of new glimpses. So when we're doing something and we're moving through our day, we remember who we are, what our purpose and passion is, and go get it. What are your glimpses? Can you share some glimpses, big or small? When you know that is the universe helping you, guiding you. You see a loved one. Yeah, your steps were ordered. My steps was absolutely ordered. Tiffany, when I tell you my steps was ordered, they were ordered. I never missed Buc-ee's. I knew it was only 17 miles away. I was ready. I looked up and was passing it. There's no way I would have missed Buc-ee's. I was meant to run into my family because I needed that little bit of support, not needing that they were going to tell me. I didn't tell them I was struggling. I didn't say anything. I just knew that I had been affirming the fact that I'm never alone, that God, I know you will carry me through this. I know that I can do this. This is something that I need to do. We are all on heroes' journeys in many, many ways. And I believe that all things are possible. I believe that for my growth, I'm going to have to do things that are very uncomfortable and things that I'm not experienced, or things that I have experienced. It was a bad experience, but I need to go through it again so that I can learn the lesson with a new mindset, a new way. That's it. This is why you cannot define yourself by old stuff. That is a whole different topic. Spiritually fit people are always looking to grow from areas. We have to stop. I encourage us to stop defining ourselves by old things, talking about old stories of how we used to be, because we are continually evolving. Before, I would have said, I ain't speaking at that. I mean, I would have done it, but my mindset would have been different. This was more of, I will do this. First of all, it's a gift for my family. I can do this, but it's also something that I needed to face so that I can go to the next level. I needed to face so that I can get deep in my relationship, my faith. I needed to face it. There was no running around it. There was no, somebody do it for me, because somebody would have done it for me. That would have been their gift, their strengthening, their thing. It was for me to do. And the whole thing was being by myself, knowing that I'm supported. Come on with it. God's glimpses. Tell me about your glimpses. I want to see some in the chat. If you just share this one, so here's the three things that I want to share with you before I get off about how to go know God glimpses. You have to have faith that you will get answers on things. You have to have faith. You have to know that your words are blessings or curses. Your words, our words, our words, I cannot say that enough, are blessing. I was simply about the bacon. I was laughing and talking about how I wanted to feel, how I love the smell of the bacon. And so in God's infinite sense of humor, I walk out and I smell bacon and coffee. Listen, I'm not in the area where they do that all the time. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That is unusual. And I laughed. I said, come on. I see how we doing it this morning. So that's one. Not and listen, some things don't show up not necessarily how you want it. I had to do this thing with the funeral. That's not how I ever wanted it. I'm going to my little cousin's funeral. How in the world? But I'm having to use what I know how to do in this manner that I never wanted. So God did use a whole bunch of reasons of things for how to do things, and yet all I needed to say yes. Yes, I'll do it. I will do it. Number two, you have to know that you're never alone. The whole time I was driving and I'm by myself, I was affirming that I'm never alone, that all is well. I can do this. I can do this because I have the support, the guidance, the intelligence, the information, that all this of my ancestors, of God, of Jesus. I have this at my fingertips. I know this. So just keep moving. I believe in that. I'm not just talking that. So let's go do this. I will be guided and supported with the words, with the heart space, with my actions. And so let's go get it. Let's go get it. Yeah. And number three, your eyes, your heart, and your being need to be tuned in to this. We miss it a lot of times because we're talking about our problems. We're seeing the things right physical, and we forget that we are spiritual beings, that we can tap into something different. So you have to tune. I tuned it. I would have missed the smell of the bacon. I had not realized, and I just prayed about it, laughing and joking. I'm very lighthearted with it and playful about my prayers sometimes. And I go out and smell it, and I just laugh because I knew. I was like, oh man, when I was going to Houston, I knew that this was something to help me heal in a situation that was very, very sad, and it continues to be. But there was something that I needed to do. It was something I needed to do, and I needed to do it by myself. Now I didn't need to have to probably drive by myself. I probably should have asked somebody, like I said, but I did not. But in the process, what I do know how to do is affirm and know what I know, that I'm never alone, that I have the courage, that I have asked God for the courage to follow direction. And in that, I knew that it would be done. It would be given to me. And I did listen. There was a point I felt like I was Jesus. God, if you could take this from me, take this from me. I don't want to do it. But listen, it was in it. So I showed up, ran right into my cousins, ran right into them. Okay. So your heart has to be. So I knew that it was a done deal. And there was so many other glimpses that I can give you guys that show up, that I know that it is, that I'm in alignment. The glimpses show up also for spiritually fit people desiring to be spiritually fit. It's to show you that you're on the right path. I knew I was on the right path when I ran into my cousins. I knew I was on the right path when I walked out that door and smelled bacon. It could be something as minute as that, or it could be that I said I'm going to my cousin's Chargers game, LA Chargers, my little nephew's Chargers game, and my clients get together, unbeknownst to me, several of my clients, and they are sending me to a game. That is what I mean by God's glimpses, God's glimpses, God's glimpses, God's glimpses. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go. Have an amazing, amazing day. Check on your God glimpses. Hit me in the chat about what God's glimpses look like to you. All right, let's go. Have an amazing rest of the Labor Day weekend. All right. Bye, guys.